may be futile, but it's you say, well, my dreams may be futile, but Bitcoin bull keeps charging away. Oh, you see, my Bitcoin bull keeps charging away. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin. A Bitcoin bull is all I got left. Sold my clothes, gold no less. Was a circling, hollow hands. This man stronger than the average man. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin.
And they can see us. I think we need to hide. So, welcome to today's show. I'm here. I'm joined with my two favorite hooligans in the world. How are you guys doing, John and Richie?
Awesome, as always. Thanks a lot for having us on.
Yeah, always true. Always when we.
And John's internet was lagging there just as he started to speak for the first time. We were sitting before and it was fine.
Oh man, I said something really cool as well.
Oh, people will never know then. Man, like, okay, we have been chatting like on interviews. I don't know if this is number 4 or 5 or something. It's crazy. I mean, for most of us, it's 4 or 5. For some of us, it's less. But how are you guys holding up and doing this past while?
Very good, yeah. I think you were our first ever interview way back. It must be a year ago. So, yeah, 4 or 5 times in. It's all good as always. But we're busy as ever, I'd say, aren't we, John?
Yeah, pretty busy. Yeah, I keep like telling my my partner that, you know, there's gonna be a point where it's sort of calms down and it gets a bit easier, but it's the complete opposite. You know, it's like it's just busier and busier and busier.
You need to stop lying to your missus.
Well, I'm lying to myself, I think, is the problem.
No, the thing is that you have been here through the bull market, and the con time is when there's a bear market. That's when you breed, you start to build things again, not just go crazy and everything happens. You take a step back, you take a vacation for 2 days or 3 days if you're lucky. Those kind of crazy things, and then you have time to build out new things while the market recovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that when obviously we did a couple of sales over the summer, and then we decided we're not selling anything else for a while. We're going to get the shit behind the scenes in order, get a few bits of tech built that we need to make things run a bit smoother, and then
get our house in order.
Yeah, and then more opportunities arrive, so it's like, oh crap, all right, well we'll go again.
Yeah, so what you guys are doing now is you are going to the second blockchain, because you have been on Wax for all the releases, and now you're also going to Ethereum, and you have a cool collaboration there, or I don't know if you have the IP for it, or what's the deal? What are you doing?
Yeah, well, we've got it's officially licensed, so we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's all completely legit. So yeah, it's really exciting for us. We felt that, you know, kind of having the IP, and it was a good opportunity for us to sort of step out into the metaverse and expand our community and the brand and all that kind of stuff, and just, you know, sort of open up our project to a sort of a brand new audience in a way. So yeah, we're like really, really excited.
Yeah, so I think we're especially lucky because obviously they're a massive franchise, but also they're very hands-on as well. So we've been talking to like the original creator and the guys who run it, and they've had quite a bit of say back and forth with the art style and all sorts like that. So it's so yeah, I think it's probably a very unique opportunity for us.
Yeah, and I mean, so when you started, it's like what has happened in 10 months? You have released 400 different like if we go to templates, there must be more than 400 different designs. I mean, wait,
Yeah.
there's like 400 in one release.
Horrors 2 had 1,300 templates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you have released a lot of things, and then you started with your own small collection and wanted to do something fun because you're fans and nerds, and now you go and you can really dig into this horror concept, which we talked about even on the first interview that you're a big fan of.
Yeah, well,
so how does that feel to land that, or how was that process?
It's amazing, you know. Like if you'd have said this to us that we'd be doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of back in January, we'd have been like, you know, you're on drugs, like, do you know what I mean? So, but I think it's like, you know, kind of, I think what we've done shows that if you're in the space and you do it, you know, you kind of treat people properly, and you do, you know, you run a good project, that opportunities potentially can sort of come to you, and that's what's happened with us, you know. And we sort of yeah, just over the moon to start getting it out there, and yeah, awesome.
So people can get, so on Ethereum, one thing that is selling a lot is these avatar projects. We have a lot of these different projects that go for, we talked about the Bored Ape before we went live with, that has been absolutely crazy, where people buy one ape for over $2 million and things like that. It goes, some of these projects go crazy, there's a lot of them, some are doesn't get the attention they deserve, and some are straight out bad. So that's like every place, I guess. So what's the decision making to go to Ethereum? Is it because you are doing it the theme that they are doing, or is it something with your IP, or did you want to explore and learn new things? What's the idea?
There's quite a few different elements of it, I'd say. We are obviously getting the IP takes us probably to a little bit of a different level to where we were at, and we want to attract a new community. We love our community on Wax, and it's pretty big, but there are other NFT fans out there, and we'd like to bring them back. And we thought this is probably the best way of bringing, like, of getting Wax a bit of a higher profile with our stuff. If we'd gone over there with something horror based, I don't think we'd have done it realistically. We wouldn't have taken what we've done already and gone over there. But something like the Chainsaw Massacre is going to get a lot of attention, and we've been doing plans about doing a Wax Collectibles Texas Chainsaw set as well, based on the first film, and we think that could be quite a lot of fun as well. But realistically, Leatherface is almost made for it, for these avatar projects.
Yeah, and right there you kind of spoiled that your IP, your license for this might stretch further than just the Leatherfaces. So what's the plan? I'm digging right into it.
Well, it's you know, when they kind of approached us, you know, there's been some negotiation, and obviously I think for the most kind of, you know, for most people, when they think of NFTs, or, you know, if they've heard of NFTs, it's usually they've heard of Ethereum, you know, and that's just the reality of it. So, you know, when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guys were no different. So we sort of, you know, it's kind of like, well, we can do this, but also, you know, you know, we've built our thing on Wax, and we'd like to do something there too. So, you know, I think all kind of like possibilities are on the table. And yeah, you know, kind of like just talking about the PFP thing, and I know it's sort of, they can be a bit divisive, but, you know, they are really popular right now. And I think if we felt that we couldn't offer anything new to it, we wouldn't bother doing it. We're not just, do you know what I mean? Like you do see a lot of projects and they just feel so similar to everything else. And we felt that, you know, we had an IP. I haven't seen it done with an IP before. The art style so unique. We just felt it was like we're offering something, you know, it's familiar, but it's our take on it. It's different. And that was it. And I think you sort of mentioned it as well, Anders. For me, like the, you know, kind of like the creative half of the team. Like I need sort of new things to do and new challenges and like and what's that?
Yeah, that audio is not going out. It's my brother that just came in and started to talk with something. I don't know what happened.
I was saying,
yeah,
really
they didn't hear that. Only you heard that.
All right, gotcha.
You just look like you've got voices in your head right now.
I was like, I finally lost it. Yeah, so I was just saying that, you know, I think it's sort of it's a new sort of creative challenge for us, which is exciting. It kind of, you know, we've been doing this for 12 months now, and I think it's like it's hard work, you know, Anders, and it is a grind. And so I think this has kind of re-energized us. It's kind of right, this is exciting, it's something new, it feels fresh to us. And I think that's kind of what it's all about, you know. And yeah, just like we just, like I say, very excited to get motoring with it properly now.
I think that's an awesome take, because like the creative process is so important. And when you do things on the blockchain and you have taken I don't know how much time you put into the community or in the Telegram chat for this first 6 months. You were there from morning to evening every day working, and you're not only there answering questions, you're also working on the project on the back end and organizing things, and not spending time with your family as you used to do and everything like that. And to be able to step back and do this creative thing and focus on something different is awesome to get new energy. It is like, I studied sports psychology before, and a lot of the things I studied is how stress affects the body and what you can do to minimize stress. And it's not about removing things, it's about adding things that make you feel better. Because if you remove something, what are you supposed to do? You don't know what you should focus on, you don't know what you should do. What you really should do to reduce stress is do more of what you enjoy, more of what makes you happy, more of what makes you tick. That's what you should do to manage stress. It is not about removing things like all the like Instagram, all these hey, remove stress, do this and de-stress and everything. What you need to do is you need to get into flow state. You need to have fun, and creative process is awesome for flow state. Playing video games is awesome for flow state. Being out in nature is awesome as well, because you're present with what you're doing.
100%.
And it seems like you have used that.
Buy a farm, aren't you? That's what I'm reading into this.
Man, there's no need to buy a physical farm anymore. You just go for the NFT farms. They're everywhere.
Not sure that's quite the same as hitting nature, but probably a little bit easier and probably more lucrative.
Yeah, probably more lucrative, but it's less rewarding probably. But yeah, so this creative process, like if you go to your website right now, you have a big team there. It is not just you guys. Like I think it's 12 people or something when I looked.
Yeah, it's more than 10. That now. Yeah,
it just keeps growing. Yeah, I don't think we expected that last January either, when it was just me, you, and Macaulay doing the art right at the start.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be impossible to do it just with that team now. We've taken a fair few people on.
So how is it dealing with a bigger team?
I guess it's got its challenges, and I get, you know, Richie will have his thoughts as well. But obviously, then there's a lot more moving parts, you know, so that's stressful, because you don't, not that like we're control freaks, but it's just when things are outside of your control and you're sort of waiting on people, and yeah, that can be sort of stressful and frustrating. But the other side of it is you've got other people helping you and doing large, you know, chunks of work which you've done, and so it's a new sort of kind of feeling for us. It's a new stage of it. But I guess, we've always, we're really ambitious, and we always wanted to make something that would sort of stand and kind of stand the test of time as well, and this is part of it. It's about, now we sort of go into another level and growing and, sort of growing the team and all this kind of stuff. So it's good, but it's like everything. It's got its challenges.
Yeah, it was impossible to do it without doing that, is it? But yeah, when you've got people building new tech, which you set off a specification and you get them to build it, but you've got a time frame, then you've just got to sit back and watch them build. That is quite stressful, just waiting to see, are they going to do it? Are they going to build it? Because it's not their reputation on the line. It's we want these things delivered in the right.
Yeah, and when you hire people to do things, or when you work with people, like, you have one vision, you try to outline your vision, you try to share it with them, you try to make it their vision, and that's very hard. It's very hard to align everything. So I can understand that. We have a question about the Leatherface. I don't know, let's just read straight off it. Do we have creative rights to our own Leatherfaces for derivative and other business ideas? I guess they are asking, if they buy this Leatherface, they have it, do they own the license for that particular face and can do whatever they want? How does that work?
That's a brilliant question, actually. And because obviously with a lot of the PFP projects, you do have those rights. I suppose the big difference is a lot of those other projects are trying to establish themselves as an IP and will kind of offer things to bring people in. And I think obviously, if people have a Bored Ape, they own the rights to that kind of image. It's a bit different with what we're doing, because obviously it's an established IP. So we have to license the rights. So we don't have the rights to sort of give them to, other people. So, I mean, I guess it's a conversation we can have with the team, but my instinct would be that, the rights will remain with Kim, who's the original creator.
I don't think anybody would be able to set up a commercial enterprise off the back of their image, because it's still a Leatherface image. Mm-hmm. So that'll still be owned by the TCM rights. Obviously, they'd be able to create something for themselves using that image, but not commercially viable, I would say. We have had a few discussions with them about this, and they are obviously quite protective of the rights.
Well, it's an interesting story that they had to fight for, a long time. I think it was probably several decades to get the rights back to the original creator. So they're obviously, they're super protective, and rightfully so. It's kind of Kim's creation, and So I guess the short answer is no.
So let's break down 3-minute monologue to no.
But I think it's an interesting sort of, because obviously we haven't been here before. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, because we are, I think, or certainly one of the first established IP to be doing like a PFP project. It is kind of like new territory, but like I say, I think the difference between us and a lot of other projects is that obviously it is an established kind of almost 50-year-old property.
Fortunately, we don't own the rights to Leatherface to give you the rights to Leatherface.
No, and I think this is a good conversation also. Like you say, it's a new thing. NFT space is a new space. We don't know what will happen with copyright or what happened with patents and everything like that. Like, we can apply the old things to the new things, but an NFT is something completely different from what we have seen before. These assets have the ability to live on for a very long time and be adapted into new forms without changing their own form. Like, you can import an NFT into a new game, and you can have an NFT that you own today that is for one game, and perhaps someone has a lot of them and are a fan, and they create a new game in 10 years that use the old NFTs because they want to give life to their old nostalgic feelings of the first NFTs they own or whatever. And then the old NFTs will have new life. And that is something, like, they can't do anything they want with NFTs, but they can also do whatever they want with them. There's a fine line there where you can add whichever NFT you want into a game, but you cannot market that NFT as being part of your game if that is protected by an IP and things like that. Mm-hmm. because you technically don't add it into your game unless you make a new 3D thing of it. Then you can't redo the IP, but you can bring in the NFT. If you have that NFT, you get a benefit in the game and things like that. That doesn't change the NFT, and that is something we have not been able to do before in any area, in any place in history. That would be interesting.
As you mentioned them being incorporated in a game, there is a little bit of chatter about that down the line for us, not just ourselves, with other games. We've got a couple of things in discussion. Nothing concrete at this moment, but watch this space, as always.
Always hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when's the first time you watched any of these Chainsaw Massacre movies?
For me, I was an impressionable teenager, so it was a long time ago. It's got a really interesting sort of history in the UK, because it was kind of like we went through, and I don't think it was kind of you had it across the world, but we went through a period like in the 80s where the sort of government were being really censoring everything, and so you had these kind of video nasties. I'm sure some people will be familiar, but so it was banned in the UK for like I'm not sure, probably maybe to like the mid 90s. I don't know. So it was like in a way that kind of built the mystery and the kind of like it was something you shouldn't be watching. Oh, this is banned film kind of thing. So yeah, but as a teenager, it was one that I kind of got my hands on, and it sort of.
How broken did you become by watching that?
It's a tough watch, you know what I mean?
If you met him now, that's how broken he came.
I mean, I'm so warped. I'm pretty desensitized to most things, to be honest. But it kind of stuck with me. It was like it was a tough watch, but there was something so like visceral about it, and I think what it did, and I think it was like a seminal film in the sense of you look at kind of the found footage kind of genre, and that I think Chainsaw was probably one of the first films that like kind of led the way on that, in terms of it felt like you were watching. It didn't feel like a film, it felt like, oh, this is the camera's there and this is kind of happening, much more so than anything we'd seen before. I guess there was a period where I guess you had sort of Last House on the Left, and there's kind of like these really sort of opened the doors into a new sort of style of horror, which just felt like you know what I mean. When he hangs on that hook, it feels real. Do you know what I mean? And that was never seen before until that point. So, and I think it still sort of has that power to even today. But yeah, so it left a real sort of impression on me. And
you don't have any like clear memory of some moment that watching those movies fucked you up in some way? Like I can take myself, like I didn't even complete the movie when I was a kid. I started to watch it, I couldn't complete it because I'm really affected by movies. And then if I walk through the forest, it's dark, and I hear something, of course I think that it's some guy coming after me and everything like that. Yeah. And I get really affected by movies. It's crazy. So when I was a kid, I could not watch these kind of movies. I refused.
I'm not even sure if now's the time. I watched it years ago when I was younger, and then I hadn't seen it for a long time, and my missus had never seen it. So I was like, all right, we've got the rights, let's watch this. Yeah, it's not a good date night film at all. She didn't love it, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, she was like, what the hell's this? Yeah, it stuck with her.
Yeah, I don't know if it did disturb me. There's not many films I've seen that have scared me, but I think sort of like unsettling, and it certainly kind of it left a mark on me for sure. But it's hard to be specific because I guess there's so many films that I've stacked up over the years that have all left the mark on me, so my psyche is probably very, very scarred at this point.
Yeah, but it's like the Saw movies, they are not scary movies, they are psychopath movies. Like
psychological, for sure.
It's very different. I can watch those things, but some of the scary movies. I know that Shrooms, that movie, I don't know if you have seen it. They go into the forest and they take psychedelic mushrooms and people vanishes, of course. And there was one in Subway somewhere, a Creek, I think it was called, or Creep.
Oh yeah. That's
like,
a British film. Yeah,
you hear darkness, and then you hear some strange animal screaming or creature screaming in far away, or playing the fear game. That game where there's suddenly there's black and then it's light, and black and light, and then there's a small girl standing in front of you saying nothing. Like I get chills on my arms, goosebumps just by mentioning that, because like I get broken by these kind of things, yet I do experience them from time to time.
Yeah,
it's interesting. How are you with that, Richie?
I'm probably not the bravest, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I'll have to start sleeping with the lights on if I keep watching all these films. Yeah, it sticks with me as well. I don't think I didn't watch so many of them when I was younger, but since the last couple of years, I've been dabbling more and more for obvious reasons. But, yeah, this stick with me. I think I'm similar to you. I'm not as desensitized and messed up as John is.
No, but it's good. I mean, there are benefits to scary movies, because like scaring yourself, that also releases some serotonin and everything. It's a release of emotions, and like intentionally getting yourself scared, as long as you can let it go after, I think it's very nice.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I think you're totally right. I think it's actually quite healthy. You know, you sort of experiencing sort of a darkness or whatever, kind of in a safe way. In it, I think that's nothing strange or odd about that at all. It's it's cool.
except when you live on a farm where it's completely dark in the night,
Yeah,
and you
that's
go outside and you,
okay.
you hear something.
Yeah, if you've got a forest to walk through that's yours in the middle of the night, you don't want to be doing that.
No, that's good. But okay, so the Leatherfaces, when is the sale going? It's fine in 5 days, right?
There's more than one sale, because we're doing the mint passes first on Halloween, 31st of October. We've whitelisted quite a few of our wax collectors as a thank you, and we always like to give back to the community. So there's 666 of these mint passes on sale, which is Halloween, and then the main sale is on the 13th of November. There'll also be a whitelist sale in the middle of that as well, because we're trying to do everything we can to avoid the gas wars and make it as easier onboarding experience for everyone.
Yeah.
The Mint Pass has all sorts of extra utility as well. You get your one NFT, your one Leatherface, and you get the opportunity to guarantee to mint more, and part of a 666 club, which will have all sorts of voting rights and access to merchandise and all sorts of good stuff. It's on the website, on the roadmap. Yeah, trying to give as much value as possible.
Yeah, totally. I think one thing we've sort of realized that about, I think if you're an outsider looking in and like the whole PFP sort of craze, I think people are like, it's JPEGs, it's dumb. Like, I don't get it. But I think, we realize what these things are, the access to other things, like obviously the art has an intrinsic value, but then outside of that, it's about, you become, it opens up a community, or, sort of, like I say, access to different things. And we've got access to, just the other night, we had the original creator came in our Discord, just doing an impromptu sort of AMA. So that was awesome for there were, it was like a nice, intimate little kind of discussion. And he's not a public person at all. So it's kind of unprecedented sort of access just there, right? Just for being in our Discord, so that's the bit sort of people maybe kind of, in the outside looking in kind of don't understand. And, so, and for the Mint Pass, it's our first NFT we're doing on Ethereum. So we kind of like, it'll be a special one. And like, who knows what it could open up down the line, but obviously we'll give people as much value as we possibly can with it.
And one thing that you actually give people, I just shared it inside the chat right now, is an opportunity to sign up for this. So if you're in the chat right now, you can click the link, and you can go in here and you can add your username of choice, and then you can add your Ethereum public key, Like I have done here, I am not Anders. That's the first one I added. And then you have a chance to get something. What's that?
We are, because those mint passes, there's only going to be 666 of them, and there's only going to be a couple of hundred of them are going to be whitelisted, and then they're going to go on public sale. But we're raffling off the chance to be whitelisted, so you're guaranteed an opportunity. So for that form, we've got, I think there's quite a few on there already, but yeah, everybody who fills in that form will have a shot at getting whitelisted for the mint pass. So we wanted to make it as fair as possible, so it'll be a random draw, which I believe's on Wednesday when we're doing an AMA. And yeah, so it's a shot at guarantee, and you get some NFTs and a mint pass.
Okay, that's awesome. So how do I get whitelisted if I'm not on that list? Is it too late? Is it something that I or anyone else listening can sign up for?
For the mint pass, the only way is we sent out 120 mint pass invites to our top collectors on Wax, and I think we've got over 60 of them have been returned with the Ethereum address. So there are a few more out there. So if you'd had a few more of our NFTs, Anders, you would have gained one of them. But
how many NFTs would I have to have?
it was quite. We've got quite a lot of big.
We've got some big collectors in fairness, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and just for reference, I have over 1,200 ultra horror NFTs, and I'm not a big collector.
That is a bit crazy.
That's a bit crazy.
But,
we might have to do it. Maybe we need to do another sort of whitelist for collectors potentially, but
for the whitelist for the main sale as well. But yeah, so we had sent out 120 of them. So they've been selling on the secondary market as well for a few people. Obviously, not everybody on Wax fancies the trip over to Ethereum. So some people, we kind of thought that might happen as well, but it was quite a nice thank you, as I say, to the Wax guys.
Yeah.
Like for myself, and I've gotten these comments from a lot of people, like thinking that only because I showcase a lot of Wax, I am only caring about Wax blockchain, and I'm only doing things, and that's so wrong. It's just that there's so much fun here, and that's why I'm always talking about Wax. Myself, I have accounts, I have NFTs on many blockchains, I do partake in a lot of projects, but a lot of them don't come close to being as fun or as good as what we see on Wax. I mean, I have been in a few games on Binance Smart Chain and a few on Ethereum or Hive or a few other blockchains, and like they're not that good. If you just put it straight, they are not that good. They're not that exciting. It's complicated to get set up. That's why I have not showcased a lot of it. Why I haven't invited a lot of them for interviews or anything. It's because it's so much fun on Wax.
Mm-hmm.
And we've obviously been doing a load of research into Ethereum in the last few months, and we wanted to make everybody clear that it's not like we're doing a runner from Wax or anything. We've got shed loads more planned for Wax. But what we have discovered is like the communities are different, and we're trying to add to our community, but also the infrastructure on Wax is so much more advanced than on other blockchains. Just like where to create packs. Obviously, you can't do packs on Ethereum, but the marketplaces to create NFTs.
The tools, like simple tools on Wax that we're like, oh, so how do we, like whitelist someone, or how do we, just really things that like, how do we find out who's got what in their wallets, and tools that we take for granted. We're having to build ourselves because they just don't exist. And I don't know why that is. Whether there's the same sort of community mentality on Ethereum, I don't know why. But like I think just to sort of, reiterate what Richie said, we're not leaving. We've got no plans to leave Wax at all. This is just us branching out and expanding, and I imagine we'll do it on to other chains. But I think Wax is our home, so we'll always sort of, you always come home. Do you know what I mean?
There are different purposes for different blockchains, and like if you want to create, you can do all these one mint NFTs on Wax. You can do that, and they get some attention, but not the same as they do on Ethereum. Like you have different kind of communities. The ones on Ethereum like one kind of things, and if they like other things, they move and use other blockchains for that as well. Like Phantasma Chain, there are a few nice NFTs there, and I even have a fly here on the NFT farm. That's good. And there are like there are a bunch of cool blockchains doing a bunch of cool things, and people shouldn't be focusing on just one, and usually it's of course the blockchain that everyone should use is the one that they have the most tokens of. They are not biased at all. I mean, of course, I have an invested interest in pumping wax. I have wax tokens. I work for a guild that produce blocks on wax that pay my salary. I do a lot of different things. I have benefit of wax, but hey, I'm using a lot of blockchains. It's not just wax; it's everything.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and I think it's kind of like, you know, if you're as a writer, you know, that's kind of like what I was doing before I kind of came into this space. You know, it's like if you've got an idea for a project and it's like, oh, is it a film or is it a book, or, you know, and I think that's kind of like, to me, it's like, that's the way I look at like the blockchains, like you're saying, you know, there's certain things on wax. It's like, well, that would work well there, but this other thing maybe isn't going to work so well. So that's what's quite exciting to me, and kind of like, you know, the creative aspect of it. And it's what can I do here that I can't do there? What can I learn here and bring back to there, and all that. And I think, you know, it's going to make us better creators. It's going to make us a better project by having this broader experience that we can bring back, you know, the best aspects of every community, and blockchain is going to make us much more rounded, I think. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of like, and also, you know, like I think I'm probably quite unique in the sense that I come into it from a purely collector point of view.
Yeah.
I was never into crypto. You know, most people I think coming into NFTs are from tokens or, you know, cryptocurrency, rather than, you know, just like I came into it because of Garbage Pail Kids. I wanted to collect the Garbage Pail Kids, and it's as simple as that. So I've got no sort of attachment to any token or anything like that, you know. And so I don't see it as that kind of, you know, if you're doing that there, you can't do that there. I don't see those boundaries in the same way. So whether that's right or wrong,
good.
I don't know, but it's certainly kind of
no,
like...
it's good. It's good in my opinion. Like, there are a lot of different solutions. There are a lot of different options. You should embrace them, learn from them, test them, play with them, see what it works better for what, and it makes a lot of sense to explore other options.
Well, one of the things we found on Ethereum straight away was, obviously everything we've done, we've tried to reward collectors. Trying to do that on Ethereum is just like with one-of-one pieces. We're just trying to get our heads around the best way where we can do that. Obviously, adding value, and we want people to put sets, but you can't exactly do 10 sets of these one-of-one types. So you're just getting our head around that and the tech behind it. It's an eye-opener.
So it's looking to reward people in a different way and bring that value in a different way to sort of the collecting aspect. But also, you know, I think we're already thinking about, well, how can we get people collecting on Ethereum? What can we do that's not being done? You know, how can we bring that mentality onto this chain? And so we're looking at things, and but yeah, it's exciting because I think you've seen a few wax projects kind of go onto Ethereum recently, and I think it seems like they've taken that, you know, that kind of wax mentality of community and kind of, you know, building things and making it better for people and all that kind of stuff. So that can only be a good thing for Ethereum as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the entire ecosystem to stop this tribal religious nonsense and start to embrace what is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're all here for, realistically.
And also, I always say it that I think, you know, the mainstream user, like when we really hit the kind of mainstream and, you know, everyone's into NFTs, they're not going to care what blockchain they're on. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not going to be, to be fair, that it's actually all these different blockchains are quite alienating, I think, to people. And it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, if I do something there, it kind of, I can't do, it sort of stops me doing something somewhere else. And so I think, you know, we will see those barriers. They kind of have to go away, you know, if this is going to be adopted by the mainstream, because the average person is not going to care about, you know, they're not going to want to think about that. Like, oh, do you know what I mean? Is this the right choice kind of thing? Do you know what I mean?
Most people shouldn't even need to know that there are some kind of blockchain in the background. Like, if you go to a website, you sign up for an app or whatever, you don't care what kind of framework they use in the background, what kind of database they use. And we are nowhere close to mainstream until we get to a place where people can sign up and use it, and not require they're not required to know everything about the blockchain. They don't have to know all the details. I'm sure that they will need some information because it is different. It is a new place. You store value. If you have something on the blockchain, if you have an NFT, you lose your key. If you go into a support group and you give them your private key because it's a scammer, if you do that and you lose your things, there is no turning back. So it is a different space. You will need to learn things. You will need to understand how that you shouldn't give your password or your private key to someone saying they are a support guy on the internet. I mean, I have a guy I know that just did that, and like, it sucks. He lost every token on his Ethereum wallet, and as soon as he has NFTs on it, and as soon as he's transferred Ethereum over, it's gone. So he can't move the NFTs. They are still there, but he can't access them. And there's nothing he can do because he went and wanted support. He went into the real Discord. He got a message by two guys. He didn't see the guy below, which was the real guy. He saw the one above, which had the same name, the same profile picture, the same everything. And that guy got his private key and then stole everything from him. And
that's shocking, isn't it?
And that sucks. And people need to understand that you should not give your password to. I mean, if you meet someone on the street, will you like, hey, this is my key to my house, take it? No, you wouldn't give that person, and you wouldn't say, this is the key to this address, I will not be home for 2 weeks, I will be away traveling, here, take that, and expect everything to be back when you get home. And it's like the fake websites on Wax, the fake Atomic Hub. They have, what they do is they give a link, hey, this is a free NFT you can claim, that's a real link, and then below there's some text, and then it's a fake link, and then you check the first one, hey, it's real, I get my NFT. You go to the second one, you click, and all your NFTs are gone.
That one's a clever one. You can see how people fall for that quite easily. Realistically, they're getting smarter with it, so yeah, you've got to be careful.
Yeah, and that is, I guess that's a side of the dark side of all this that maybe is sort of, keeping people away from it as well, so.
It doesn't always have the greatest reputation, does it, crypto? Let's be fair. Yeah.
And one way to manage that is to have multiple accounts and split your things, because if you get wrecked, you don't get completely wrecked. And that is... like I have on Wax, I think it's 15 accounts I use regularly.
And that's just for mining, isn't it?
No. I have more accounts. No, but it is a good idea to split things. I have multiple hardware wallets. I have multiple devices with different keys. I do take things one step to, like, it's one step too far for most people, but like, when you start to accumulate some value in your account, you need to take these extra steps to secure. You need to have a cold storage somewhere where it's harder for you to get your stuff, because that also means it's harder for other people to get it.
For the NFTs, you know that you're keeping long term, you may as well keep them aware, get them locked up.
It is. And okay, so if people want to buy these, the passes, there are 666 of them. They go on sale in 5 days. If you're not on the whitelist, are you doomed? What should you do?
No, there's a public sale. There's more on the 2/3 of them are on the public sale. There's just a couple of hundred whitelisted ones, so you'll get your fair shot at it. It should be fine, I would imagine. And then that's for the that's for the mint pass, and then there's the main sales to come a couple of weeks after, like on the whitelist sale, I think it's on the 11th, and then the main sale's on the 13th. So there'll be plenty of...
The whitelist sale will be on the 12th, Rich.
On the 12th, all right. It's only on the 12th and on the 13th, so I should know that. But yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunities, and we're spreading it out so that the gas isn't hopefully horrific for everyone. If you all join the Discord, you can find out all the information about getting whitelisted for the main sale as well, for the whitelist sale.
And how much will they go to sale for?
The mint passes are 0.13 ETH, and the main side, the NFTs, are 0.0666.
Obviously.
Because we're predictable.
No, but it's good, and people should know, if you haven't been on Ethereum, even if you pay your gas and you try to buy these, someone might get their transaction in the block before you, since the block is not instant. It's not 100% guarantee that you will get it, even if you have managed to send your transaction. after the block has signed, then you know if you got it or not. If not, you will get your Ethereum back, but you will lose that gas fee.
You will get a message on the website after the transaction gone through that says you have purchased. We were having a mess around with the devs earlier on, and they were walking us through the exact process of what you'll see, so it'll be clear to people if you have been successful or not. But
yeah, that's good. So there are over 10,000 different ones that you can get. Different combinations, or how does it work? Let's break down those details more as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So talking about, I mean, we haven't really talked about the art very much, but yeah, so we got we sort of did a lot of work in terms of looking for the right artist for the project, and the artist we landed on was a guy called Skinner, who's pretty big in the horror community. He's got a pretty big following himself. Fantastic sort of unique artist, who, and the thing is, you know, if you're familiar with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, I think a lot of people think, oh, it's like super horror, super dark. And I mean, obviously it is in places, but also even the first film has got a black sense of humor, and certainly kind of, you know, certainly number 2 is almost borderline straight out comedy. So the series does have like this kind of really interesting tone of, you know, the horror and the sort of humor, and I think we really wanted to capture that in this series, and I think we've done that really well. So I think we've honored, I think we wanted to honor both communities. You know, we wanted to honor we're doing a PFP project, so we wanted it to be familiar to people, but at the same time we wanted to honor the source material and it to have, you know, and sort of feel like that, yeah, like it pays respect and homage to the films as well. And, you know, I love the films as well, so everything we've done is just with pure love. Skinner's a big fan of the films, you know, all the team love the Chainsaw series, so everything we've done is kind of comes from that place. So I think we've got the tone like really good. So it's, you know, Leatherface, he's found his way onto the blockchain, he's murdering other avatars and he's wearing their traits, he's just trying them on, you know. That's kind of the story, because that's what Leatherface does. He kills things and he wears their skin, you know, that's his shtick. So that's kind of what he's doing, but he's doing it on the blockchain. So, you know, he's got the eye lasers, you know, he's got all the sort of things that people like, but I think it's just funny because it's Leatherface doing it. Do you know what I mean? So it breathes fresh life, I think, into all these stuff that we've kind of become familiar with. So, but yeah, there's tons of traits. I don't know how many, hundreds. Rare ones, got to be a golden chainsaw in there, obviously. And I think what's really cool, what we've done is for the horror, you know, the horror collectors and the OGs who've kind of collected our stuff, there's lots of little nods to the horror series, you know, that there might be a bit of neon in there, there might be a bit of blood soak in there, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, like tons of traits, some really cool, you know, unique avatars as well. And I mean, there's some of the stuff, we've really pushed it, how, like, because we've got a really good relationship with the team, we can kind of like get away with stuff that you wouldn't be able to get away with other kind of.
Yeah, one of the reasons we don't know how many traits we've got is because we haven't got them all signed off. There was a couple that pushed the limit probably a little bit too much, but so yeah, but there's, although we're doing 10,666, there's that many traits that could make a million, like millions of them. So you won't see all the traits with all the combinations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. So you've got just a mix of, you've got the dark ones, you know, the more horror ones, and then you've got the kind of more fun. But it's all kind of like, you know, the subtext is out, you know, even the fun ones, Leatherface has been murdering other avatars. So it's kind of funny, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it sounds like a great concept, and I'm sure I will try to get one, and that will probably not be too easy. Some of these sales sell out pretty fast, you know.
Well, we'll see. Who knows?
It's always a balancing act, isn't it? Because you sort of want it. you want it to obviously do well, but you want people to kind of be able to get one, and you know, we've really always tried to balance that on Wax, you know, and it's hard. It kind of takes a lot of thought,
and like usually of these projects, the first few days after the sale, they never go into crazy prices. There's usually a bunch of them on the market. You can get them. Of course, there will be a lot of collectors that got them directly. They will never sell them, or they will not sell them in a long time. But there are always flippers trying the same thing on Ethereum as on Wax. They buy them purely to get a profit for them. And then it will quickly add up a sum because they want to cover the first gas fee and everything like that as well. But if you miss out, like I'm saying this as much to you as to myself, if you miss out, you can still buy them on the secondary. So
and you'll be able to pick and choose which traits you fancy at that point, I suppose, as well, because they are very varying. There's a lot of differences, and then people will have the favorites.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny because you can sort of like there's a Leatherface for every occasion, like you know,
for a wedding.
For a wedding,
there's a robotic Leatherface out
for
there.
Easter, for a birthday, whatever you want.
Childbirth.
There's a Leatherface. There's a Leatherface for it. Just an interesting comment in there. It says, "What is NFT?"
Yeah,
I think you're on the wrong channel.
No, Anders is the man to teach you. I've seen those videos.
To be fair, it's my mate. I think he's taking the piss. So.
Right. Your missus.
NFT is all the fun things on the internet. That's the easiest. I'm actually going to a podcast in Sweden tomorrow to explain what NFT is in basic language and what it can be done. So that's fun. So Steve, if he understands Swedish, he can listen to that podcast in a few weeks.
It's an, you know, and I think it's probably worth talking about a bit more, you know, because obviously we've done an IP now, and we sort of, you know, what we found as well is that there are a lot of people who don't like NFTs, you know, and you kind of, I guess we're in a bit of a bubble that it's just like, I don't watch outside. I don't know what's going on in the real world. I have no idea.
The fake world.
Yeah, you know, like the fake world is the real world, and the real, you know, it's kind of all turned on its head for me. So I've got no idea what's going on. So I just think everybody in the world loves NFTs. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's the first time we've had any backlash, isn't it? Because obviously, like, TCM, and a lot of these TCM fans, a few of them were like, "Oh, why are you doing this? It's bad for the environment," and all this kind of stuff. We're like, oh shit! Yeah, forget that. There are other people out there who don't love this stuff.
It's fascinating, and you can sort of, like, I think there's a kind of, you know, like a level of education that people need. I guess. I guess it's who delivers that education in a way, but
Anders.
I think sometimes it's hard as well. I think obviously the media have kind of like, you know, there is I guess it's quite fashionable to hate NFTs, isn't it? And
yeah, but the media is into the whole religious environmental movement, and I say religious because it's not based on facts, all of it. And now I will get hate, and that's fine. Like Ethereum and Bitcoin use a lot of power, a lot of electricity, but they use a lot of waste electricity. They want as low cost as possible, so they go to places that produce too much electricity that otherwise vanish and isn't used, and they use that and take that into profit, and instead of wasting that energy, they use that to create Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they go to, like, there are oil rigs, the big pumps that you see in movies in the US. The big thing is to dig into the air. Into the ground. I mean, usually there's fires burning there. They burning when they have too much energy. They just burn it. And now instead they go and put a container with miners, and they use that energy instead of just burning it into the air. They use it and create Bitcoin. And then they use volcanoes and like there's a ton of crazy things that people are doing. And it's just plain wrong to say that they are bad. It's just
and
religion.
Also as well, I think kind of, you know, if you're going to direct your anger about sort of environmental issues, don't do it to the NFT community, you know, do it to the world's governments. It's just a bit of a strange sort of, you know, when you think about all the industry, I mean, I don't have any facts to back me up on, but I'm pretty confident that, you know, NFT will be carbon neutral before vast majority of other industries, purely because of the creative technologists in the space, you know, like it's sort of, But it's difficult. It's difficult because people see the sensational sort of headlines. They miss the sort of the community aspect, that this has actually been really positive and healthy for like so many people. And you know, you look at sort of so many people we now are making sort of a living out of this space, and so you know, it's given them freedom and they're much happier with their lives. And so I just
they're buying fake farming tools on the internet called NFTs for $40,000 a pop.
Then making it back in a month. So
it's an insane place, and like there's a ton of people making money being at home in this ecosystem, and doing things that they love, which is crazy. They collect things, they create art. Like I saw some comments that NFTs will kill art or kill artists. I'm like, wait, what? More people all over the world are hiring people to do art, and more artists are able to get paid for their work. Like you can go to blockchains like Wax, where it's very low cost to create NFTs. It's not free, but it's not far from. You can get the free NFT, sell it, and you can pay for your mintage. And then you can mint your NFTs, and of course you won't sell one for $1 million and boohoo, you will go home and cry. But you can make a living. You can start to sell for a few US dollars, and you can make more, and then you can make more, and then you can have enough to pay your family and food and everything. And people don't think that is success, and I don't know what they are on about. Like, is it only success if you can sell an NFT for $1 million when you can sell it and sustain your family on painting and chatting on Telegram and just having fun? I don't know.
Just the opportunity for these artists to get their work out in front of thousands of people, that the most people don't normally have the opportunity. How else could they showcase it to so many people? So many receptive people. It's brilliant for that.
As a creator myself, you know, I've never felt so empowered in my sort of professional life as I do in this space. And I think to me that's just incredible, really. Also, I just want to make a comment. There's somebody in the comments. I'm assuming that first, to be fair. I think he's having a go at me for getting on my soapbox. But just, look, I'm passionate. I'm a passionate person. What can I tell you?
Atomic King is giving Richie a hard time as well.
I haven't got the comments up, but if they're burst in there, I don't want them up, so I'll leave it be. He's not saying anything but pure love and positivity as always.
Yeah, no, look at Richie, and there he goes, and then he also says that you're playing with the Wii remote and things like that.
What are you playing with, Rich? Richie's got this thing where he has to have something in his hand because he's got, like, I guess it's like a nervous tick in it or something, Rich.
That's because I can't pace when I'm on air. Normally I'd pace, but I can't when I'm sitting chatting to you guys. So
no.
Yeah,
I'm doing the same. I have this, and I play with this right now. It was something I found just on my desk. I always have something in my fingers. It helps me keep focused. It's the ADHD. You need to do something to keep focused on what you're actually doing.
And that's part of the problem with this space as well, isn't it? You're sort of like bombarded with stuff, and it's kind of like, what's going on? So yeah, it's no wonder we're all nervous wrecks.
No, we're all relaxed. We're all chill. We're all gambling addicts. I mean, everyone that is buying packs to open in hopes of getting some big hit. It's just gambling, and that is one big problem in the European Union, because they are not keen on gambling licenses, and they have banned like Counter-Strike boxes and things like that in some countries, and packs for NFTs is highly similar, and Swiss blocked some NFT projects like officially for the entire country. You can't visit some of the blockchain games and things like that.
But in the UK, you don't get taxed on gambling, so it's not all bad. If this starts counting as gambling, it'll be all good for us. Well, yeah, you're right about it, gambling. I played poker for 10 years, and this is more gambling than that was half the time. Cracking those packs and see what you're getting.
It's more fun than poker as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's more fun than most things, really, isn't it? That's
yeah. There's a reason we spend all day here. It's crazy. It's so much fun. So you guys are releasing this in, okay, if we take Richie is the 11th and 13th, if we listen to John is the 12th for the different sales. So before Christmas. So what's happening after this? Like, this is your big project now, you're working on this. Have you started to, like you mentioned briefly, like you have a few plans? Is it something that is a solid plan that is coming after this project? Is it something that you can tease about, or is everything ideas at this stage?
We've got all sorts stacked up, really, haven't we? Really, like
we do.
We didn't spend a year building comics for just as it released 2 comics and then leave wax forever. So yeah, we've got
a lot of comics ready to go. I mean, whatever we do next, it'll be on wax, you know, and probably kind of the start of next year we'll do something. We've got a few different ideas. I've got an idea. I haven't mentioned it to Richie yet, so
I don't need another idea just now. Let's get this one out the way. We've got
it's something it's something we've talked about doing between me and Richie for a while now. So I think it could be a good opportunity to when we kind of like come back to wax in the new year to do what I'm thinking about. It's very different to anything else we'll have done. So again, it's something new and exciting. But yeah, I can't say too much because I need to get Richie's agreement. But also as well, you know, like Enjau's just asked about the IP. If things go well, on Ethereum, we have multiple properties lined up, ready to go. One thing we wanted to do, which we thought would be really exciting for the community, is to give the community kind of votes in what they want to see next. I don't think any other project that has access to property would ever do anything like that. So I think that's exciting for us to kind of be in a position where we can actually really listen to the community on, you know, where we go next with it. But yeah, we've got. So
you are actually gonna care about the community after you sell something?
Exactly. And we're going to sell something we've already got. We're not just going to sell a dream for the future.
But this is the thing, you see, because I think the difference with us and, you know, and sort of other IP is that we're coming from inside the community rather than outside in. Do you know what I mean? We come from the inside. We are the community. So yeah, like we will run our projects as we've always run our projects, but we just got an IP, which means that the community will be involved in the decision making. We'll try and make the best decisions, you know, for the most possible people, and we'll listen and we'll. So kind of like, you know, if you're like, I think if you're a fan of these things, that where on earth could you get that? Like, do you know what I mean? That's just, I think that's so exciting. And we've the IPs we've got, they're not all horror. We've got some big other properties lined up that, you know, some big sci-fi things potentially.
Now we just need this one to go well first, so we can so we can nail that down and everything. But yeah, we've got all sorts of things already created and things that we can do afterwards. And...
So yeah, and you know, like, and I think we have to say as well that we wouldn't be here in this position without the community. You know, like they've backed us and supported us and lifted us up to be in a position where we can, like, this is, you know, running Texas, that's like a dream come true for someone like me, you know what I mean? So, and I wouldn't be here without the community. So we want to really bring that back and sort of direct whatever happens back into the community. And I think it could be really exciting, you know, kind of with our mentality. And, you know, the way we ran the community and the way we ran the project, that's the reason why we're doing this, because you know, the Chainsaw team saw that. They saw, like, they liked what we were doing. They liked the way we ran the project, and they're like, you know, can you do this for us? And we were like, hell yeah, you know. So, but yeah, like,
it's like you said in the earlier stage of this conversation. If you just keep being a good guy and doing good things, you will get good opportunities from that. And you guys have kept adding value to the community over and over again, and that is showing. So, and how you speak about it and your plans and everything, I'm sure I'm not the only one that is listening to this now or in the future that will feel the same thing. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
You guys are doing it correct.
Yeah, well, you know, it's it's kind of always been yeah, and right from the start, Anders, and we always kind of try to do the right thing by people and try and be decent human beings, and you hope that good karma, and it kind of works out. So
yeah, it does. You just need to keep working, and that's good. So what's happening in your lives? What's up? Are you divorced? Are you alone? And or is life happy now?
Tell you what, if we keep this up, that might be the way it goes. What's happening in our lives? This so far. After the 13th, we might get some back. We'll go celebrate, and whether it goes well or goes badly.
Well, interestingly for me, I've got a baby on the way, so that's exciting. That's some news hot off the press. So God knows I'm going to manage that.
Let's hope you have some support at home.
Yeah, I'll need all the support I can get. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little horror on its way. There we go. There we go.
It's an horrific and fun experience.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to find the time for that, but I guess that's how you do it, innit?
Just don't sleep. That's what pretty much you give up sleep when you have the kids.
I mean, I'm not far away from that right now, I'll be honest.
So nothing will change then.
Jesus, yeah. But yeah, so but it is, Anders, it's kind of hard to sort of kind of manage your sort of your personal life and this world. I think we all know that everyone who's involved in it, this world is so kind of
it's immersive,
done it like.
Yeah, you're in it 24/7, and it's something like if you miss a week, the world has changed. Like
you miss about 4 hours, you come back and like, what the hell's going on now?
It's like somebody mentioned, like, so we in Discord now, because obviously that's where it feels like that's where the NFT community's sort of moving more towards, Discord. So we've really sort of dived into that this kind of last couple of weeks. So we're in there a lot now. If anyone wants to kind of talk to us, we'll always be in the Discord. I mean, our Telegram group will always be there, and we'll pop by. But yeah, the Discord is where we are plugged into. And just like, yeah, all the stuff that's going on in there, just insane. I completely lost my train of thought there.
That's okay.
Huh?
Yeah. No. How is that? Are you excited for it, or is it scary?
It's I haven't like I don't think it feels very real right now. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
yeah.
But I am excited, yeah, for sure.
It doesn't feel real even after, so don't worry.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Don't worry.
What was I saying anyway? What was I saying? I just like my mind's going. What were we talking about?
About missing a few hours of action and then.
There you go. See, it's just I lost my. What I was saying is somebody mentioned this new game on Wax, and I never even heard of it, but apparently it's like one of the top games on Wax. Like
Farmer's World, John. Yeah.
Farming Tales. No,
it's
man.
It's like Moonstones or Moon Gems or something like that. You haven't even heard of it.
It's Moon Day today, so it's all good. Now,
so that's the point. I guess it's just like so many things popping up all the time.
We are in a big bull market on Wax, that's for sure. There are big money flowing around.
Yeah.
It is going. If this sustains for 2 months or like that, around that time, we will see a completely different world on Wax. If it sustains for that long, we will see. I don't know if it sustains for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. But if it's here for a bit, there will be so much money in the ecosystem being thrown around. So it will be a different beast.
It certainly seems like it's sort of establishing itself as the like the what did you call it? Play to earn blockchain. It looks like that.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like that for sure, and it's crazy. And if you miss 1 day, you wanted to buy something, you're like, I don't feel like doing it now. You go to bed, you wake up, and it's 3 times as expensive as it was last night.
And you see everybody talking about all the passive income they make, and then you're furious. The FOMO's real.
Yeah, the FOMO is dangerous because that's when you start to do stupid things. Yeah. So that's good. But it's fun. It's good. I was gonna say that's good. The FOMO is good. You need to make mistakes. You just need to make some calculated mistakes. Don't throw everything in one bag and hope for the best. If that is successful, it's the best idea. If it's a failure, it's the worst idea you can have. So I'm rather safe than sorry on most things I do there. But okay, so your project, the Leatherfaces. I will get one. You will send it to me directly. I'm just joking. I will not. I will buy it from the market the same as everyone else, or I will try to, and we will see what I get. So, where can people find it? I've linked the leatherfaces.io in the description. I have not linked your Discord. I only linked your Telegram. I will make sure to add that after the interview as well.
Yeah, so our Discord and Twitter, that's kind of, the main social channels. But yeah, leatherfaces.io, that's where we'll be minting from. There's a ton of information on there as well. But yeah, like I was saying about the Discord when I was sort of losing my mind a bit, we're in there all the time. So, any questions, people can just and
we've got a hell of a bunch of mods in there as well, because it's been going a bit mental. So it's good that we've got people in who'll be helping out a lot.
Actually, that's one thing I wanted to say, I'm glad you reminded me that when we were talking about the team and the team growing, we've got a fantastic team as well, I was saying, kind of waiting for people and stuff, but in fairness, we've looked into the community as well, and kind of taken people from the community who we kind of like and trust and respect, and yeah, they're kind of just, we would be we wouldn't be able to do it without them, to be honest. So, just a massive thank you to those guys.
You can't do everything yourself. You need to have some help.
Yeah, totally. And like we're saying, as we grow, I guess the teams get bigger and bigger, and we both lose our minds more and more.
Yeah, for sure. We have been chatting now for 75 minutes almost, so I think it's time for us to wrap these awesome discussions up. I mean, the time flew by. It was fun. It is fun when we can sit down and talk about the NFTs, what is fun, and everything else as well. You guys are awesome.
You're awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us on, as always. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks for having a blast, and thanks for being awesome guys, and thank you everyone for watching. Is there anything last we should mention before we dive out?
Just thanks a lot for everyone watching.
Yeah,
and come join us in the Discord if you've got any questions.
Come and join the Leather Fam in our Discord.
Right.
Leather Fam.
A Bitcoin bull is all I got left. Sold my clothes, gold no less. Was a suckling, hollow hands. This man stronger than the average man. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble, I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. Day the markets take another dip to restart and refuel this moon boy ship. My dreams may be futile, but it's you say, well, my dreams